I'd like to move us to the educational system. I thought that was a good point that you brought up. You said that the principals aren't guarding the doors, but the principals aren't being given the funds to purchase textbooks. I mean, we have many parts of the United States. I know a couple of teachers personally who say they copy textbooks, and the textbooks are not being bought in the communities where our kids go to schools. Well, are you aware of this?
Now, what state might that have occurred in?
Right here, in the good old U.S. of A.
According to my figures, I think that there's been an abundant supply of capital resources that have been
Mr. Jeffries. Mr. Jeffries.
Not in inner city schools.
I don't know where you're getting these statistics, sir, because I'm telling you what I don't, not what I think, I'm telling you what I know.
Well, I guess I just have to rest my case.
I think you should go back and do some more research on that. But would you all agree about the educational system, that the kids aren't getting the books that they need and the school systems aren't getting the funding that they need?
No, it's absolutely true. Here in the inner city schools, I also have a very good friend who's a teacher. She uses her own money to buy supplies. They share books. They have to read from the one book to all of the kids, not to mention the overcrowding.
Absolutely.
It's the problem over and over again.
I think if people like Bryce over here actually reach down a little further into their wallets, you know, we can actually do something more than create $2 billion airplanes, you know, and maybe something could be done.
Well, this sounds just like that mindless rhetoric that I've been so accustomed to, but I rest my case.
How about let's move to the U.S. judicial legal system? We didn't get a chance to really expound on that, and I really didn't get your answer to your feelings about it. I pointed out that Mr. Diop was falsely imprisoned, and I don't know if you are aware of that, but he was, along with a lot of men who are now serving on death row, and thank God for the DNA tests that are now being administered, because a lot of people's lives, a lot of black men's and Latinos men's lives are being saved today. Mr. Jeffries.
Deanna. In terms of his false imprisonment, as you should know, the charges were not trumped up. They were actual charges, drug charges, might I add. So, his place was in prison, and that's where he definitely belonged.
Oh, that's
there was
right.
no false arrest or...
You were there, right? You were there.
No, I wasn't there.
You weren't there. So what do you know? What do you know? You weren't there.
How much more time
do we
have?
nothing.
Oh, just another 5 minutes. Listen, we all know that we can't believe everything that we read in the media. We can't believe everything we hear from news reporters. We know this. So
a few of your main sources.
Yeah, I would venture to say that Mr. Diop was falsely imprisoned, from the background information that I've been given, Mr. Jeffries.
Well, yeah, that's what the so-called majority kind of looked at that as, but that definitely is not the true case. But we all know that.
Okay, last question, and this is a free-for-all. Anybody can go for it. Actually, I'd like every one of you to answer this question. You said you want to empower your people. I know you want to empower your people. Can I say the same for you, Mr. Jeffries?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. I'd like each of you to offer your perspective on if you were the president of the United States, what would you do to empower your people?
Well, I would say that the catalyst for empowerment would be to arm our kids with the resources. That would be, you know, the books, the schooling, the training that they really need to compete in this world. That would be the main focus that I would address the nation on.
Who are your people?
Who are my people?
I mean, kids, men, women, children, other than corporate people?
No. I represent everyone, every citizen of this United States. That's who my people are. Everyone.
Well,
Valdez?
I agree that what's important is education, money for education, fairly distributed. especially amongst those that need it the most. And not just for the children, but having programs that involve the parents. Many of the people in my community, especially in the Spanish community, you do have a lot of immigrants that don't speak the language, and they don't get involved because they're afraid to get involved. It's a mystery to them, or perhaps their papers aren't set straight, they're afraid to get involved with the authorities, and they're here, and we have to help them move forward.
Mr. Diop.
The United States profiling system has gone over the top. It allows people like myself to be imprisoned years, and more years for nothing. Just so that people like him could continue to get big checks, big steaks on the table, big restaurant ventures, nice trips, vacations, tours around the world. G4s, is that what you guys call those things? G4s.
I think we're just about out of time.
Yes, we are, and that's up to me, but thank you very much.
Was there anything else you'd like to add?
Oh, I have nothing else to add.
I don't believe I was finished.
Mr.
Because it's people like you that allow people that didn't grow up, you know, in $400,000 homes, go to $200,000 schools and study law. We dislike you. We hate you. We want you gone.
Well, Deanna, I want to thank you for inviting me on this program.
And I'd like to thank you. Just keep your seat as we wrap things up. Is there anything else that anyone wanted to add before we go? I think it's just a very interesting topic, race in America, and I think the dialogue can continue even after the cameras are off. I'd like to have you all back at a later date. We'll set that up.
Sure.
Thank you for joining us. Have a good day, Mr. Jeffries. I am Deanna Jefferson, and you've been watching The Monitor.